Hello, I'm There's the Cartographer, and this is the third game in my other great game series, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I played this over the past 2 years and ended up finishing it over the winter break, so I figured I'd give you some information on it. This is Alexios, the Mystios, along with his eagle, Icaros. So yeah, there are two main characters you can play in the game, one male, one female. The male is Alexios, the female is Cassandra. Cassandra is apparently the canon character that you can play as. I didn't know that at the time, so I picked Alexios. Anyway, though, why don't we talk a little bit more about the game? I'm going to sit here for a minute because it's kind of fun to have the eagle sitting here on my arm. So, the game was developed by Ubisoft Quebec, Ubisoft Montreal, Ubisoft Bucharest, Ubisoft Singapore, Ubisoft Montpellier, Ubisoft Kiev, and Ubisoft Shanghai, and that's definitely necessary because there is so much content in this game. It was published by the Ubisoft parent company. I have spent over 200 hours in this game, and I think my Steam playtime says right about 200 hours, but I don't think that they've actually recorded it all. There, again, is so much content in this game. So it takes place 431 to 422 BC during the Peloponnesian War. The Delian League versus the Peloponnesian League, so Athens versus Sparta, basically. So yeah, it's one of the RPG versions of the game, not like 1, 2, Revelations, 3, Rogue, Black Flag, Unity, or Syndicate. Now, this is more like Origins and Valhalla, the new one that just came out a couple of months ago. So the main quest is that you, or depending on what character you are, you and your sister, or you and your brother, are grandchildren of Leonidas. And so the very beginning of the game takes place over here at the hot gates of Thermopylae, and you can but basically you start out the game playing as Leonidas, leading the Spartans in the defense against the Persians, and of course that ends up with Leonidas' death, but they managed to hold off the Persians long enough for the rest of Greece to organize and then eventually defeat the Persians. So again, you are the grandchildren of Leonidas, and there's a prophecy that ends up with basically both of you and your sibling have to die. Now, you end up getting sent off over to Kefalonia. You manage to survive the fall off the mountain. You end up sailing over to Kefalonia as a kid. You grow up on Kefalonia. And what happens to your sibling is kind of spoiler territory. It's a big, long story. And to be honest, because I've been playing it over the past 2 years, I don't even remember it all. I did basically a big block of time over the holidays to finish the thing up, but before that, I mean, I've played it in 20, 30-hour chunks over, a long period of time. Anyway, though. So, you leave Kefalonia, eventually you come back to the Greek world, you discover that there's a whole cult of people that have been screwing over your family for generations, and it's your job to hunt them down and kill them. So, I'm not going to show you that for too much longer because there's some spoilery stuff in here, but just to say that right here, this is your opponent, your sibling, who takes on the name Demos. Anyway, go back to the game here. So yeah, you end up having to spend the game hunting down these people that have ruined your lives, and in the course of things, if you want to get the positive ending, you can end up actually saving the entirety of your family and reuniting everybody, which kind of spoilery, but anyway though. So yeah, along with the main quest, there are a whole bunch of side quests. Taking a look at the map, most of them are done, in fact, but why don't we go to the quest section here. And does it show completed ones? I actually don't know if it does or not. That's unfortunate. Yeah, technically I still have these two quests, but they're like stage 3 of quests where you just go to forts, kill the general, take their seal, and return it. And I don't really want to do any more of that. But yeah, there are a whole bunch of interesting quests with interesting characters. You meet a whole bunch of the people of the ancient Greek world. Like, I actually compiled a little list here of people that I recognized. So you got Herodotus, Socrates, Aristophanes, Pericles, Plato, who's a child at the time, Hippocrates, Leonidas, as I said before, Euripides, Cleon, Democritus, Pythagoras, who, that's kind of, I don't really want to explain how you meet him, because he's supposed to have been dead for like over 100 years. Sophocles and Thespis. Thespis being the forefather of all actors and thespians, as it were. Anyway, though, why don't we take a look at some of the content in the game itself. Actually, before that, I just realized I should show you something here on the map. You've got this kind of premium currency here called Orichalcamore. And that's a premium in-game currency, and that should lead us to talk a little bit about microtransactions, because there are significant microtransactions with this game, and that definitely detracts from it being a great game, but not that much in my mind, because you don't have to do any of this stuff. I do wish it wasn't here and that you could earn all this stuff in-game, but at the same time, it's not the end of the world for me. So add-ons, I did purchase the add-ons. These are DLC, and I would definitely say they are well worth the cost. I picked them up on sale over the holidays. I would recommend waiting for a sale. I mean, again, I think they're worth it, but the game is 2 years old and they're still selling everything at full cost. Going in here, though, you start to get to some of the cosmetics that you can buy. And honestly, this seems to me to be more acceptable in a free-to-play game, but I mean, that's just me. We can go into gear here. Again, same stuff. That was just packs of gear. You can buy different ship designs, time savers, which, if you're selling time savers, then you're admitting that you've put a bunch of busy work into your game, but anyway. And there you can see you can buy all these Helix credits to buy these things, including up to a $100 pack, which, ridiculous. Anyway, okay, so let's back out of that. Okay, so why don't we take advantage of some of the stuff in game real quick, though, just to point out some things here. Again, this character has fully completed the game, so I've got these weird, like, tattoos and stuff on me. That comes from completing the DLC that has been made for the game. So let's see, what do we get a better? Let's see, who should we help out here? If we help out Athens, we get 1 piece of epic gear. If we help out Sparta, we get 2 pieces. We're a mercenary. Doesn't matter morally which side we support here, so we're going to go help out Sparta. And spoiler alert, Sparta won the war in real life, so, you know, you're not really breaking history or anything like that. And of course, the war's constantly going on in the background anyway. Just to point something out real quick. There's something called, if you look right there, where it says Focus, which has Athenian leadership of an undiscovered leader, and it's got that little purple bar, that's nation strength. You can deplete nation strength by killing soldiers, killing generals, captains, burning grain supplies, seizing forts, all that kind of stuff. And as the bar drops, then the leader of the enemy becomes available to be killed, and once they're killed, that's a big drop in the national strength. And then you can start waging a war in an actual battle, and we'll do that here real quick.
The mighty warrior with the broken spear. Your timely arrival puts us in the perfect position for a push on Athenian borders. If you'll join us on the battlefield, of course.
Sparta has my sword, and all my strength behind it.
Glad to hear it. May Ares favor us today.
Alright. Now, to my knowledge, this is not a very realistic ancient battle between Greeks, given that those big round shields you see are hoplite shields, which means that these guys would be forming up a phalanx and stabbing each other through the shields. Oop. So yeah, I'd had this game since 2018, and I hadn't finished it, and I had actually kind of given up on the concept of finishing it, because there's so much involved. Again, I spent 200 hours finishing this thing. But I wanted to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because that looks pretty cool. And I decided that I could not justify purchasing Assassin's Creed Valhalla until I managed to actually defeat this one. No Vikings until I finish off the Greeks. And I've been just killing these little foot soldiers, but really I need to be going after the captains. So I'll take his... Uh-oh. Whoa, okay. Well, that was a bad lag spike there. Not sure what caused that. But took his shield. Now I'm going to use this little... Oop, this little effect I got from the DLC, where I definitely would have killed him many times over with that. But that doesn't always kill your enemies. But that recharges your adrenaline that you see down there at the bottom. Okay, now I need to find more captains. I'm not sure what that freezing is. Maybe that's related to me recording it? I have not seen that before. I mean, I've even recorded this a little bit before, because I've made attempts at making a video on this a couple times before, but I just wasn't happy with them. Oh, looks like we got another Misthios here.
They say you can't be beaten. I'm going to prove them wrong.
Let's see what you are
Alright, well, I'm gonna kill this thing first. There we go. Now we kill the Misthios. Oop. Sometimes the moves work a little bit weird there. I managed to take the shield, but she was behind me. I don't know. I don't exactly know what happened, but I'm not going to complain because it worked. Oop. And yeah, that little effect where I got stabbed and then suddenly started glowing, that's something from the DLC as well. You know, I'm going to activate my little, like, god power here. Man, this power seemed to work a lot... Oh, jeez. They got me. That worked a lot better in the underworld. Alright, well, they got me, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, that would have taken a while to finish up that stuff anyway. So, I mean, okay, so other stuff you can hunt. I can miss deer as well, multiple times over. There we go. And now my eagle is hunting too. Okay, so yeah, the gear is very cool in this game. A lot of sets, a lot of effects that you get off of them. This is the Discates armor set. You get this for going to Atlantis. But along with that, let's see, I got multiple other loadouts here. This is the loadout of Deimos's armor, I believe. Yeah, Demigod's armor. And then along with that, I can go over to this one, which is the like original assassin armor here. And each one of these, again, has different little things that they give you, different effects. This one is one of my other favorite ones. This is the Asphodel armor, I guess. Basically, this is the armor that you get out of Elysium. So, why don't we do some naval combat? Along with combat, there's also, like, you can dive into ruins and things like that. Let me get down to my ship here, the Adrestia. Alright, let's get sailing. See if we can't find some pirates. I mean, I could take on some Athenian ships, like those over there, or some Spartan ships. But, truth be told, I'd prefer to take down pirates, because I don't really want to raise my bounty and have to either pay it off or kill the people who have placed the bounty on me, or fight large numbers of mercenaries until that is paid off. Why don't we just go after these Athenians? Because I'm just trying to actually give you a feel for the game here. So, go to travel speed, not ramming speed. Wait, is that a... That's a pirate vessel. We'll go after that one. So yeah, you can see all the people I've got here on the ship. Why don't we take a look at the inventory screen real quick, because you can see how you can customize ships. So, little bit spoilery here. I've got my entire family as all the special lieutenants on the ship. But if I go in here, you can see that I can customize the ship to different qualities of upgrades, different cosmetic upgrades here. And all these I actually got in the game. Along with that, I can do all these different ones. Let's see. Along with that, you can see the weapons and armor upgrade things over here on the left. These take ungodly amounts of materials to upgrade all these things. Which is why not all of them are all the way up. And even though you can see I've got enough resources to upgrade my javelins here, I mean, that I can't get almost anything else. So yeah, upgrading those things are very helpful for naval combat, though. I do like the naval combat in this one. I'm definitely preferential to the naval combat in Black Flag, but this one's pretty good. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to ram this thing. And we're going to be shooting some Greek fire at it in the process. There we go. And now we're going to shoot it. And now we're going to board it.
Boarding party! On me! Let's send them to Poseidon!
Could have waited until we were a little closer, but this works. Oh! Whoa! This will work better with this armor. What happened last time? Oop. Only one guy left. What happened with that battle was this move makes it so I can take all the damage, but can't heal myself or do anything other than strike with his weapon. And I should have remembered that I needed to get away from enemies before the thing drops and then heal myself. But anyway. Okay, oh, could have taken that chest. So let's do that real quick. And it's got the ship before it sinks fully. Okay. So yeah, the Greek fire comes from a piece of the DLC. We'll talk more about the DLC here in just a minute. But along with combat and naval combat, there's also diving into ruins, a whole bunch of side quests.
We're moving now! Everyone to your positions! We'll crush them!
Now let's throw some javelins, fire some arrows, launch some fire arrows,
Less speed!
and throw some more javelins, and shoot some arrows. Come on, there we go. Alright, now we can do some boarding. But yeah, along with all the side quests and everything, there's also mythical creatures to take on. And those are a part of the main quest of the game, but they are, I would say, they're a significant enough thing that you can call them their own thing as well. So in that case, you're fighting Cyclopses, getting questioned by a Sphinx. You can fight a Gorgon, and along with that, what's the last? Minotaur. A Minotaur. Now, in the course of defeating the DLC, there's also the Hecaton Kier. What's it called? Hecaton Kieris. And again, I'm going to mispronounce a whole lot of Greek words here today, but it's something like 100 hands. It's a very old Greek mythical creature from the same time as the Titans and the Giants and the Cyclopses. Let's take on this bigger ship here. Okay. Throwing spears. Whoa! Uh-oh. Should have told my guys to brace, but I forgot what the command was. Alright. Let's ram these guys.
Onward!
As they come around this way, engage the Greek fire, and ram. And rather than board these guys, we're just going to sink them.
Increase speed!
Just rammed each other here. Throw some spears. Slow down and ram. Full on. Full speed. Go. And split the entire enemy ship in half. Okay. Alright, so yeah, along with fighting the mythical creatures, you can also fight alpha animals. There's also an arena, if you take a look down here in Crete, that you can go to. Again, there's the constant war raging in the background, so you can see that there's already a battle taking place down here. And that battle's still going on up there, but they constantly are resolving themselves, and then territories weaken, and then they get engaged in another battle again, so it's just always going on in the background. So let's talk about the DLC. So the first one is like the first Hidden Blade, I believe it's called. And the neat thing about the DLC is it takes place in areas that you typically don't visit that much in the main quest. So Macedonia up here, that's where the first part of it takes place. The second part of it takes place down here in Achaia. And then the third part takes place in Elis and Messina. And these are all areas that you typically don't actually visit all that much in the main quest. You do visit everywhere else just about in the main quest, but those areas. Along with that, during that time, you're hunting down a separate cult, the Order of the Ancients, and this is the precursor to the Templars and Abstergo from the modern day lore stuff in the Assassin's Creed games. So it's interesting. You meet the assassin who holds the very first hidden blade. It's the weapon that he made for himself, and depending on your sex, he has a child that's either a son or a daughter, and the child that the two of you produce ends up going on to found the Assassins of Egypt. So it's just kind of interesting that you have this Spartan father or mother and Persian father or mother that ends up going on to create the Egyptian order of assassins in Assassin's Creed Origins. So let's see, what else to talk about with that. That's as much as I want to talk about there without potentially giving away spoilers or anything. So we'll talk about the other DLC, which is the Fate of Atlantis. Now the entrance to Atlantis is down here at Thera, which is a massive volcano, potentially one that caused the extinction of civilizations thousands of years ago. But if we take a look at the portals, you can see that I have the ability to go to Elysium, the Underworld, and Atlantis. Now, to my understanding, Elysium is in the Underworld. But anyway, we'll go to Elysium so you can see what that's like. Alright, so here we are in Elysium. Now, that's interesting. I wonder why... Anyway, I'm not sure why I just completed that quest. But, so... yeah, again, here we are in Elysium. But basically, when you're here, you're experiencing this through the memories of another person. So by the time you're playing the game, all the events that take place in this DLC have already taken place. But anyway, so yeah, this is the realm of Persephone. That's the goddess in the statue up there. These are fairly large areas that they add. So there's Persephone's palace up there. But, yeah, so she is basically in this case, she's the personification of order. She's attempting to maintain too rigid a control, and because of it, things are falling apart. Here, you also meet Hermes and Adonis, and you also meet Leonidas, who has passed on into the underworld. Elysium is the home of the favorite heroes of ancient Greece. To my understanding, the underworld was effectively split into three chunks. You had Elysium, which was for the best of the best. You had, man, I don't remember, Tartarus? No, I don't even think it's Tartarus. But anyway, Tartarus was like where they stored the Titans. I know that. And like the worst of creation. But there was one that was for the absolute worst people. And then there was the largest chunk of people that just went to this purgatory, effectively, where it was just this pale version of Earth, but unlike the whole concept of purgatory where you're spending time there before going on to heaven. And I'm not Catholic, so purgatory is not really part of the mythology that I grew up with, so even my knowledge of that is not terribly great. But again, they would exist in this kind of pale version of Earth, and that would be where they would be for all eternity. But anyway, so here in Elysium, you do your thing, and then what ends up happening is then you get sent on down to the underworld, and we'll take a look at that. Okay, and here we are in the underworld. Again, I don't know why I'm completing these quests. I don't know what that's all about. Why don't we go to a different part of the underworld, though, so you can see this a bit more clearly. Well, not great fast travel points, so we'll just ride the horse. That's one of the things... Coming back to this game, after so long, I forgot that you could literally just summon your horse back to you, which in this case I've got as a unicorn, because I thought that was great. We're in this white armor, riding a unicorn through hell. So this is the realm of Hades, and Hades in this iteration is chaotic, controlling just about nothing, and everything really just kind of falls apart here. There are rifts into Tartarus that open up, and the worst of the criminals of the underworld spill out and start making life hell for everybody else around here. There's Hades' palace up there. And you got just this giant monstrous snake head thing here, pools of blood, and just a generally unpleasant place to be. I'll just say that. There is the river Styx. You can also meet Charon, and he's the riverman, the ferryman who's constantly moving spirits around so that they can move on to the different parts of the underworld. And yeah, you've got also these hellhounds that are annoying as hell and will chase you down, and they fight fairly well. So, I think that's enough on the underworld, so let's take a look at Atlantis. Okay, and here we are in Poseidon's throne room here. Now, you finish up your stuff down in the underworld, and Hades attempts to betray you and keep you there forever, but then you're rescued by Poseidon, and he brings you here to Atlantis, which is a really beautiful place. And I gotta say that Ubisoft really outdid themselves with just everything that they've made so beautiful, and the worlds they made here were so amazing. Now, I can dive here and not take any fall damage by falling into that, but there's no fall damage in this game as far as I can tell. I don't think that's a trait you get on that you take. There's just no fall damage, and along with that, you can ride your horse off a high cliff, and you can fall and you're perfectly fine. Your horse, well, I will say that your horse can die if you fall off too high a point, but at the same time, a minute later, the horse, you'll be able to summon the horse again, you'll be able to just keep right on going. That is kind of creepy right there. I thought there was a dolphin for a minute, but no, that is definitely not a dolphin. But even here, I can summon my horse. Comes riding up. And here we go. Now here you can meet Atlas, who's here working temporarily at least as the ruler of the city, taking care of the day-to-day operations for Poseidon. But yeah, you got humans and Isu here, Isu being the precursor people that you find throughout the Assassin's Creed universe. Basically, the Apple of Eden that you find in Assassin's Creed 1 was created by the precursors, and there's a whole bunch of modern-day lore about Assassin's Creed stuff that I just don't really care that much about. I'm much more about visiting the historical recreations that they have. But while you're here in Atlantis, you unlock a whole bunch of Isu knowledge that ends up unlocking the Isu half of you, because you are descended from the progenitors, or the Isu, and humans. So you're half human, half Isu, and that's why, as you unlock the knowledge... Let me get off my horse here so you can see these things. You get... Well, I don't know why they're not showing up. I think you saw them earlier. You get those weird tattoos and things that show up on you. Maybe that's part of that armor, now that I'm thinking about it. Yes, it is. Okay, so there you go. That's why those things show up. But that armor is made specifically for you at the behest of Poseidon, but it ends up being stolen by a bunch of jerks here in Atlantis, and once you kill them, you can take your armor. And you're effectively supposed to be serving as the judge who decides whether or not to destroy and rebuild Atlantis. And in the end, well, I'll leave that off. You can have that be a something you can figure out for yourself if you so want to play this game. And again, I think it's a great game. I think it's too long, honestly. Again, 200 hours. And yes, I did literally do every piece of side content in the entire game. There are only something like 9 achievements that I haven't won for this thing, and that's for things like kill one of somebody with every type of different weapon, doing a certain type of move, and it's just that's the kind of achievement I don't really care about. Let's go back to the main world though. Alright, so yeah, here I am in Atlantis, well, the gateway to Atlantis. And why don't we just take a look at the map, because I just was going to close this thing out just by saying that there seriously is so much content available in this game. And that it's got the neat whole photo mode thing. Again, you can even see this one I put up here, the only photo I have that was liked by anyone else, where I'm shooting this giant. Which, I mean, I can't imagine the player base for this game is massive right now, especially when I was playing this thing when Valhalla was already out. But I think it's a good game. Again, too long, but a beautiful game. And yeah. So I would recommend it, especially if you can pick it up on sale. And I would definitely recommend the DLC if you can pick them up on sale. For some reason, the game, even with Valhalla being out, is still fully priced, which seems to me to be nonsense. But at the same time, again, you heard me when I said they had Ubisoft, Quebec, Montreal, Bucharest, Singapore, Montpellier, Kiev, and Shanghai all working on this. And it shows with the sheer quantity of content. Like, look at this. This is Athens. This is amazing. And from up here, you can see so much of the Greek world. I'm standing on top of a soldier's helmet right here. And there's the Parthenon. But, I mean, and here's the thing. I've replayed Assassin's Creed 1 through Black Flag. I've played those games at least twice. I don't see myself ever playing this one again because I'm one of those people that has to do everything. And again, this took me 200 hours to complete everything. I'm not doing that again. This was my playthrough. Unless I'm doing a playthrough for you all at some point, which, I don't know, maybe we'll do something like that at some point, but I'm done playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And Origins. I was about to say Origins, but yeah, I completed everything with Origins, except for the DLC, and I don't see myself going back to finish that because I've been playing a little bit of Valhalla.
Hey, come here a moment.
Doing a little bit of a raid on a monastery here, which is awesome. But anyway, I think this has given you a good view of what's going on in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Again, a game I recommend with the reservation that it's far too long and unfortunately has microtransactions in it, but I'd say is still well worth the price. Again, if you can definitely pick it up on sale. If you're one of those people that's out there specifically for a game that you buy it and you get a couple hundred hours of entertainment out of it, I'd recommend it. And again, they did a beautiful job of recreating ancient Greece. Not obviously 100% historically accurate, but at the same time, you can still visit incredible sites like the Parthenon right here behind me. So I think that'll do it. This has been the Irresolute Cartographer. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.